This is the recording for the 712 quiz in Unit 7. This is the second of only two quizzes that you will have to do in Unit 7. You are completing only quiz 703 and 712 in this unit. The only other assignment that you have is the 709 discussion. Everything else has been removed to allow you time to prepare for the final exam and catch up on late work. To enter the 712 quiz, go to your blue navigation bar on the left and click on 712 quiz. Click on Begin 712 quiz, and after some reminders, you may enter into the quiz itself. I'm going to read the quiz questions and the answer options to you. As you work through this quiz, you'll notice that there are 10 questions and they're worth 2 points each. It's a little bit different from most quizzes in which the questions are usually worth 1 point each, but this quiz is actually worth 20 points. And it takes the place of a unit test along with 703 quiz. Okay, as you work through the quiz, make sure to save your answers and then click submit for grading so that it arrives to me in the grade book. Let's get started. Number 1, how did railroads influence modern business practices? They transported significant amounts of goods and built national marketing systems. By using cheap labor and holding down wages, railroad entrepreneurs served as models for the government. Their owners formed corporations, oversaw complex processes, and sold huge amounts of stocks and bonds. Or the last option, they brought together several giants of industry who formed a business coalition. Number 2, what is a monopoly? Vertical integration that connects one business with another. Horizontal integration that connects one business with another. Complete control of a commodity, business, or product. Or the last option, a plan to build competition throughout an industry. Number 3, which of the following was an attempt to restrict a monopoly of the oil industry in the United States? The Dingley Act of 1897, the Sherman Antitrust Act, the Interstate Commerce Commission, or the McKinley Tariff of 1890. Number 4, which was the most common impact of new inventions on American life? They increased costs and provided a basis for family disputes. They reduced costs but made life more difficult. They created problems, increased pollution, and made life harder. They made life easier, more productive, and more profitable. So which answer is it for that one? Number 5, what were two practices used to develop monopolies? Was it controlling all the steps in the business process and driving out all the competitors? Driving out all business competitors and charging tariffs for crossing state lines? Controlling all the steps in production and limiting transportation distances? Or charging tariffs for crossing state lines and limiting transportation distances? Number 6, what is the difference between a blue-collar worker and a white-collar worker? White-collar workers must wear a shirt and a tie to work, but blue-collar workers can dress casually. Blue-collar workers have defined work clothes or protective attire, while white-collar workers wear white shirts. White-collar workers keep their clothes clean during the course of the workday, and blue-collar workers do not. Blue-collar workers are unskilled, manual laborers, and white-collar workers are professionals and semi-professionals. Number 7, what attitude did most capitalists have towards unions? Capitalists supported unions and helped workers achieve some of their most important goals. Capitalists wanted a laissez-faire economy with few regulations and little interference. Capitalists often built towns for their workers and charged them very little to live there, leading to low union membership. Or the last option, capitalists appreciated having unions because they usually made their business more profitable. Number 8, how did the government respond to organized labor in the later part of the 19th century? The government usually moved quickly to stop strikes and other labor disturbances. The government passed laws to help improve conditions and wages for workers. The government encouraged organized labor by passing favorable tax legislation for members, or the government remained neutral during labor actions, preferring to let the factory owners handle each situation. Number 9, which best describes an immigrant family's experience at Ellis Island? They were whisked through immigration rather quickly and with very little paperwork. They were interviewed thoroughly, given physical examinations, and usually left the same day they arrived. They were interviewed, had to fill out hundreds of forms, and usually had to stay 2 or 3 days before clearing. They were treated very poorly, forced to pay large bribes, and spent weeks trying to clear immigration. Number 10, how did the experience of most Asian immigrants at Angel Island differ from that of Europeans at Ellis Island? It was very similar. It was easier and quicker as Asian immigrants were generally more well liked. It took longer and they were treated poorly, reflecting the widespread bias against Asians. Or the last option, it was very similar, although it did take longer. Please remember to make sure to click submit for grading when you're done with your quiz. Good luck with your quiz, and as always, please make sure to contact me with any questions.